Alright guys, now this is an episode of the best of the rest, so looking at the last week of action in football that I haven't already covered. So we'll start off with Chelsea versus DINAMO Zagreb. Zagreb obviously getting a 1-0 shock win. And to be fair, it's not the easiest place to go to get a result for Chelsea. Like I don't think anyone would have slated Chelsea had they have come away with a draw, because it isn't an easy place to go. But at the same time, it was the manner of Chelsea's performance which I think has got everyone very either frustrated or sort of, you know, sort of doubting Chelsea. But yeah, Tuchel obviously got the sack off the back of this game, and it's resulted in Graham Potter coming in. But if we talk about the game, Orsic got the goal, and it was a poor goal for Chelsea to concede. They were on the attack themselves, and it comes from a counter attack. It's brilliant header down to Orsic from Petkovic, but Orsic still has a lot to do. He manages to get past Wesley Fofana. Now, Fofana and Koulibaly, the positioning of the two, it screamed of a centre-back pairing that is still very new, because Koulibaly's gone towards Petkovic and Fofana is also pushed forward, and they're both in the attacking half, meaning that Orsic is allowed to be slightly offside, and he also takes the ball with him, so he has the momentum as well. And Fofana, considering Orsic is running with the ball, it didn't look great for Fofana for his pace, to be honest. He didn't do the best job in keeping up with him, and Orsic manages to flick it over Kepa. If anything, it wasn't a complete dink, it was just a flick with just about enough to get it to roll into the net. So yeah, still a brilliant goal by Orsic, and that was like his 9th goal of the season, I believe, so that's a brilliant start to the season for him. But yeah, Zagreb, they defended brilliantly. Chelsea just looked out of ideas for the majority of the game. They had lots of players making good runs, but they just couldn't pick out any passes, it felt like, to me watching it. But yeah, there were some really good performances from Zagreb. Orsic and Petkovic up front, as I've already said, had brilliant games. In midfield, Ademi and Ivanusic, they both performed brilliantly. Ivanusic was really unlucky to not have a shot go in when it was saved by Kepa. Ljubicic at left back had a really good game as well, made a really important defensive clearance towards the end of the game. And as well, the goalkeeper Livakovic obviously had a brilliant game, making numerous important saves throughout it. But yeah, if we focus on Chelsea a little bit now, Aubameyang's debut, obviously, and I felt he was actually one of their better players. Some of his decision making when it came to the vital moment, that was quite poor, especially in the first half. There were a few opportunities where he sort of tried to pass it, where he should have probably been a bit more selfish and taken the shot himself. He did score in the second half, but it was disallowed for offside, and correctly so. But yeah, it wasn't a great showing from some of Chelsea's attacking players. Mason Mount, I thought, was quite poor. Reece James, he wasn't too bad. He did hit the post in the second half, so he was quite unfortunate there. But yeah, once again, once Chelsea brought Armando Broja on, they did look a better side. So I think that might say something for Chelsea, as well as Ben Chilwell. Ben Chilwell, when he came on, he performed better than Marco Correa has been so far for them. So maybe he should be the starting left back or left wing back for Chelsea in the near future. With Graham Potter coming in there, I can see Cucurella getting a few chances just yet, considering what he did for Potter at Brighton last season. But yeah, it's a poor performance from Chelsea, but with Graham Potter in, Chelsea fans will definitely be hoping changes can be made. But the thing is, Graham Potter instantly at Chelsea, you know that he's walking into the job, and if he doesn't get results straight away, he's going to be immediately under pressure from Todd Bowley. So yeah, it's a bit of a lose-win situation. And then the other game I watched was Sporting Club de Portugal, give them a proper name now. They beat Eintracht Frankfurt 3-0 in Germany. And it wasn't the most entertaining first half ever. Frankfurt had a good chance. I can't remember who it was for, actually. I think it was their striker. And it was saved by the Sporting keeper. And yeah, it should. But that was pretty much Frankfurt's only real clear-cut chance throughout the entire game, and it came within about the first 4 minutes. Marcus Edwards was the star performer in the first half, 100%, because Sporting weren't exactly great in the first half, but he was the one looking to create chances. He got a shot off goal, which Trapp had to save. There was also a penalty correctly overruled by VAR, sorry, where Marcus Edwards stood on the defender's foot when it looked at first angle like the defender had fouled him, but it was correctly overturned. But second half, Sporting just turned it up a notch, and Marcus Edwards in particular was just fantastic. For the first goal he scored, but the second one in particular, the one where he has the composure to wait to pick out Francisco Trincao, who tucks it into the back of the net, that was absolutely superb. And the third goal from Pedro Porro as well, the run down the right hand side to cross it for Nuno Santos, was also equally as superb. And yeah, both the dribble and the cross, the amount of curve he had to get on it to sort of bend it round the last defender at the back for Frankfurt was amazing, really. And it wasn't long ago he was at City, so I think it wasn't the smartest move. Just from watching this game alone, I'm not going to claim I watch Sporting every single week, but he looked like a very good player this week, in this game, sorry. And so yeah, maybe that might be a player that City possibly could have held on to as a future replacement for Kyle Walker, because Kyle Walker, I think we're going to see a bit of, he might be the one City player we do see a bit of a decline in the next few years, because he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but if we see his pace start to go, I'm not saying for 1 minute that Kyle Walker is, just a speed demon and that's why he's in the Man City team. That's not true at all. He has got some very good footballing ability, but at the same time, speed is a key ability to the way he plays. So yeah, that might be a bit of a regret for City, letting Pedro Porro go so early on in his career. But yeah, the one player I did try to keep an eye out in this game for was Pedro Goncalves, as I've heard a lot about him, because he's been supposedly playing very well for Sporting. And yeah, Sporting are a side that have just lost Mateus Nunes as well as Bruno Fernandes over the past 2 or 3 years. So they are clearly a club that do not create, but produce attacking midfielders quite well, because they do have quite a good record of doing so. So yeah, that was why I wanted to keep an eye out for Pedro Goncalves, who didn't have the greatest game ever and was subbed off for Nuno Santos, who did come on and get the goal. But for Frankfurt, yeah, it was a very poor performance, especially considering they were at home. I know they have lost a few key players in the summer, especially Filip Kostic at left wing back, who, even from that position provides so many goals for Frankfurt. It did look like they were missing a spark in their attack. Even Mario Götze, who has come into Frankfurt, I thought he had very little influence on the game, struggled to really create anything. And yeah, that is the first game I've watched of Mario Götze in quite a while, it feels like. And yeah, he didn't live up to my expectations at all, because it was only when I was watching them announce the starting 11 that I knew he was in the team. But anyway, Sporting were by far the better side. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.